esky bus.
Pulled up at this absolutely beautiful spot. I was hoping to get the car up into the campsite, but it looks like we can't. Campsite's just up in here, only about 50 meters up the hill, but it looks like we're gonna have to leave the car here tonight and camp just a little further away. This is our campsite. This is it. We're on the Great North Walk. This is a designated rest area. There's a fire pit. It's a little bit worse for wear. If we stay tonight, we'll fix this up. Beautiful spot. So we're going to take a walk up the hill. There seems to be a lookout up here somewhere. I've definitely seen photos from up the top. I'm not sure how far it is, so we might just walk and see what happens. Google Maps shows this as a road, so it wanted me to bring the car into the campsite. Stitched me up a little bit here. We're going to take the A line or the B line? I think we might take the A line. That's where we're going. Woo! So we're part way up and I've just found this sign. It's sort of facing the wrong way for me, but it says the walk is this way. So there is a track in there. I think what we'll do is we're going to walk to the top and see if we can find this lookout. And on the way back to the car, we'll take that little side quest. I'm not sure which section we're actually on. I actually thought the Great North Walk was a fair bit further south. I didn't realise we were going to be camping right on it tonight. But I'll put something on the screen to show the section and maybe a link to all trails or something in the description. If you've done this section of the Great North Walk, you know a bit about it, leave me some info in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Very interested in doing the entire Great North Walk. I did the first section from Circular Quay to Lane Cove fairly recently. It was really fun. It was about 26 Ks all up, but about 6 or 6.5 of it was on a ferry. So there's like 18 or 19 Ks of walking. I was absolutely cooked by the end of it, completely destroyed. I was supposed to walk the next section the next day to get to Thornley, which was another 18 Ks, I think. And I woke up in the morning, it was raining. By the time I packed up my tent, I was soaked. So I walked to the nearest train station and got on the train and went home. We're a little bit in enemy territory here. I'm trying to stay away from the plants. I'm not sure if Gympie Gympie grows here, but I'm not going to take the chance. If you're from overseas or you don't know what Gympie Gympie is, look it up. I'll put a link in the description to a Wikipedia or something about Gympie Gympie. It's a spined plant. It's kind of like Australia's poison ivy. The famous story was about a guy who was exposed to it, was in so much pain that he shot himself in the head. That's a pretty wild story. I'm not sure if it's true. Apparently, according to some accounts, it basically feels like being electrocuted. So I'm giving the trees a wide berth. We're also definitely in snake territory, so I am being very careful to stay away from anything that looks like it might harbor a snake. I have got the most important thing that I could possibly be carrying today, and that is a compression bandage to use as a snakebite kit. My biggest issue today is that if I do sustain a snake bite, I'm alone and I have to get myself back to the car. So we're not going to go too far from the car today. A couple of Ks maybe. And I think that'll be it. Seems we're at the top of the hill. Looks like there's a little lookout here. Let's go and have a little sticky beak. Oh wow, okay. You can't really see much down into the valley, but wow, this is a nice spot. Whoa, that was unexpected. Let me go this way. Wow. Well, you got a fair drop here. Beautiful cliffs. Woo. What a spot. What a lovely place. Well, that was relatively easy. It was quite steep, but that was really fun. I think we're going to head back down. Oh, just scared the absolute crap out of myself there. I thought I was being followed by a snake or something. USB charger was dragging on the ground. Actually frightened myself quite a lot there. For those of you who don't know, I am absolutely terrified of snakes. Hate them. So we're gonna head back down to the car. Gonna have a little sit for a while. I am not convinced that this is the place for me to camp tonight. I don't know how busy it's gonna be. I think we are in the middle of nowhere, but that campsite is on Google Maps. And I can hear a lot of sort of motorbikes and stuff around. There's fresh tracks on the ground from motorbikes. So I think this is a pretty sort of busy little thoroughfare. So we might just hang out for a little while. Maybe watch the sun go down a little bit. Figure out what we're gonna do. Ooh, that rock moved. Oh, that was close. I nearly lost it there. So we're back where we said this trail split off. So we're going to take this home. It's going to come out at the same spot. It has to. So I just think it must avoid that real sketchy kind of chute that I walked up. Ah, yeah. It's just a little zigzag track. I definitely think the road might have been better. I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but this track is steep and very slippery. We just keep switching. Whoa! We just keep switching back. Ah, we are back on the sketchy bit. So I saw this pillar over here. I saw this on the way up and I didn't realize that it meant go right. I thought it meant to go up there. Lesson learned. Either way, we got there. That was actually pretty tough. Surprisingly tough. We've done 1.5k so far, but forgot to turn my GPS on until about halfway up. So I'm guessing this is probably about a K up and a K down. I could have kept going, but I just sort of ended up on Fire Road, and I feel like I was going to be stuck on that Fire Road for a while. So, okay, well, there we go. That was a short section of the Great North Walk. Only about a K up and a K down. I think next we're going to bring a little bit of gear into the campsite and just get set up. I might tidy up this fire pit, just get it ready and see how we go. All right, so I've walked in most of my supplies for the evening. This is pretty much it. I've got a chair, I've got a table, Bluetooth speaker, a cup, some stuff to get the fire going, 2 litres of water and a little light, a cup and a stove, a bit more water, snakebite bandage and a tripod. This is what we're going to start with. First rock that I moved disturbed some very, very large, very angry, very red ants. So I am not going to rebuild this fire pit. Moved a few stones around just to tidy it up a little bit, and now we got a nice little fire. Those ants are quite angry and they're going to get pretty warm pretty soon. So it'll be something I'm going to have to keep an eye out for, I think. When I'm all set up, decided to leave the fly off the tent for the moment. I think it's going to be a really nice night and there's no rain forecast. Got my little chair, got a little fire set up. I brought a frying pan. I've also got my gas cooking if I want to boil water. Table set up with all the stuff that I need. Bit of food, bit of drink, hot chocolate for the morning, heaps of water, some stuff for the fire, etc, etc, a bit of light. Google Maps told me that you could drive to this campsite. It seems really weird for me to be in the national park at a backcountry campsite with all this gear, but like I said, I thought I could just drive in, pull up and set up next to the car. So I've come set up for that, but it's only about 50 meters or maybe 100 meters. The car's just over that hill there. We're off. So one of the things I brought to entertain myself is this field guide from Alton. I bought a hammock and a tarp like 6 months ago, 12 months ago or something. And this was, I think, $10 extra. And I don't really know how to tie knots. I don't really know how to set up a tarp. So this was actually really, really, really handy. It's made out of some sort of paper that seems pretty good. It seems to last. I've taken it, I've gotten it wet, had it out in the bush kind of thing. I've had no problem with it. This isn't an ad or anything. I bought this with my own money. I was just really impressed with it. And just with the whole ordering process in general, I was quite impressed and I'm really glad I bought it. So yeah, that's going to keep me entertained tonight. Dinner tonight's a sausage roll I've brought from my local cafe. They make them in-house. They're incredible. And so I brought one wrapped in a couple of layers of foil. I was just going to chuck it into the fire, see what happened. But I don't really want to risk it, so I'm going to pop that on the coals there. I'm going to keep the main fire going over there. We're just going to pop that on the coals. I'm going to leave it there for quite a while. It was frozen this morning. It was still pretty cool when it went in there, so probably going to leave it there for about an hour, maybe even longer. Maybe just pull a little bit more coals around it every now and then. See how it goes. I actually brought 3 chairs on this trip. Again, I thought that I was going to be able to drive right to the campsite and that I was going to be able to set up right next to the car. So I brought all these chairs. So I brought this one up first, but then I remembered I had these 2 in the car. So I brought them up to give them a go. I've got the Alton one on the right hand side, the Helinox on the left. The Alton, what I found for me, much, much better. Has the right shape here. The Helinox squeezes me here. Cannot get kind of comfortable in it. It's a little bit smaller. It's lower. And it just doesn't seem to do it for me. I can't seem to sit in it for very long. The Alton one fits me really, really well. Only problem with the Alton one is it's about twice as heavy. Obviously, this thing over here has got nothing to do with backpacking or any of this kind of camping. It was just in the van and it's here because I had it. I don't know if I can sacrifice the comfort for the weight. Like I said, the Helinox chair on the left is way lighter, but it just is uncomfortable for me. Just sort of, it's like it doesn't fit. There's nothing wrong with it. It feels fine. It's, again, super light, packs down really small. I really like it. It's a good piece of gear. It just doesn't fit me quite properly. Alton one does, unfortunately, twice the weight or something like that. So I'm sitting in the Alton now, and I feel like I could sit in it for the whole night. It just fits me right, and I feel supported. The Helinox is just not quite the right size or shape for my body. The weight is perfect. It's half the weight, but if it could be made just a tiny bit bigger, I would sacrifice a small amount of that weight for it to be the same size as the Alton chair. I just brushed up against that. I just nicked it, but it's pretty fucking sore. I really, really hope that's not the fucking Gympie Gympie. I only just brushed up against it, so I don't know if I should rub it. I read somewhere that they sort out stings from plants like that by putting tape on it and then ripping the tape off, and that pulls like all the barbs and stuff out of your skin. I think rubbing it would be a bad idea. I think I'm just going to deal with the pain for a minute. I think it's okay. It's not incredibly painful. It just feels like I've rubbed up against a little stinger. But it could be the calm before the storm. So it's about, I think it's here. It's just this area here. It's only about 3 or 4 minutes after. It's kind of going away. So if that was a Gympie Gympie, I'm pretty sure I've only just skimmed it and I should be sweet. Fingers crossed. Okay, we're not having much luck getting this sausage roll hot. So I've built a second fire over here and I'm going to let that go. And this is sitting on the coals of the first fire. So we're just going to let it sit there for a while, try and get some heat into it. It's been sitting next to the fire for about 45 minutes. It's really gotten nowhere, so try and give it a bit of a kickstart. Pulled it out and it's sizzling. So I think we're done. Got a little dark on one spot. That actually looks pretty good. Let's dig in. Oh yeah. So a local cafe makes these. They are absolutely incredible. Real sausagey sausage rolls. Filling's real chewy like a sausage. Absolutely delicious. I try to keep it to 1 a week. If I'm real keen and I feel like I've done a lot of exercise, what I might do is have a sausage roll and a pie. And yes, this is how I eat my sausage rolls. Patch on the back of my leg where I tapped that plant is pretty sore. Still, I wouldn't call it electrifying. It's not, it's not super painful, but it's definitely noticeable. And I only just brushed it.
I just touched it. If it is the plant that I'm thinking of, the Gympie Gympie, I can imagine that if you wiped your bum with it or rubbed it on your face, I think it would be incredibly painful. There's a story about a guy who, I think he slapped his friend in the face with a branch of it or something as a joke. I really don't know this story. I remember reading it ages ago. I could be really, really wrong. I'm sure I read a story about a guy who whacked his friend in the face or he was dared to do it or something. And supposedly the most excruciating thing he's ever had. I've read reports that like 4 years later, people are still in pain from this plant. So I really, really hope it's not the plant. I think it is. But if it is, and I just tapped it and I'm really not in any pain, so I think we're good. All right, it's 9 o'clock. Time for bed. See you in the morning. Okay, so I was lying here, almost falling asleep, and I heard a car pull up. We're in the middle of nowhere, and my first thought was someone's trying to break into my car. And so I looked out the tent window, and so I sat there for a bit. They turned the lights off, and then torches came on, and they started coming up here with torches. They said someone's coming here, someone else is coming here to camp. It's 10 o'clock at night, and they were going to be here in an hour. I didn't say no, but I kind of was like about ready to go to bed. And I'm sort of hoping that they don't set up here, because yeah, it's already 10. What an absolutely beautiful place to wake up. Have a coffee, hang out for a little bit, pack the tent up. It's just rained on the tent, so I'm just going to sit and have another coffee for a little while and we'll just let that tent fly dry out. So the spot on the back of my leg where I brushed up against that plant yesterday, it feels a little bit tingly. It kind of feels a little bit like I walked through a cobweb, or maybe there's an insect on the back of my leg. There's just this little kind of twitch feeling, and I keep brushing it away as if there's something there. It doesn't hurt, but it does feel a little bit weird. I'm still not sure if it was a Gympie Gympie plant or if it was something else. I'll identify it when I get home from the videos and the photos. I'll put something up on the screen. But I could feel it all last night, and I could feel what I might describe as an electric shock sort of sensation. I only just brushed up against it, and I can imagine if, like some of these stories, you were slapped in the face with it or you wiped your bum with it, something like that, it could be unbearably painful. I feel fine now, but that may have been a close call. I'm really glad that I only just brushed up against it and that I noticed that it was there and I paid attention to it for the rest of the night.
Of course, you always want to leave a campsite cleaner than it was when you got here. But this place was pretty nice when I arrived, so that's kind of difficult. At least I tidied up the fire pit a little bit, just made it a little bit nicer, a little bit more enclosed. Other than that, I've not really been able to do much with this spot. It's pretty nice as it is. Alright, there we go. That was a wonderful night in the bush. I really enjoy that kind of escape and getting away. I just haven't been able to do it for quite some time. So it was really nice to get out, have a nice fire. The people that rocked up in the middle of the night put the wind up me a little bit. They gave me a little bit of a fright. I wasn't really sure what was going on. But they ended up setting up a little bit further down and I was able to get some sleep. So that was nice of them. I slept reasonably well. I'm on a Climate Static V pad. I'm about 90 kilos and I did find a few pressure points. I had a little bit of difficulty getting comfortable and I was tossing and turning. I slept pretty well, not terribly, but I definitely need to find a pad that suits my body a little bit better. I also have an Alton blow-up pillow and it does not suit my body, my neck, whatever. It's just the shape of it's not quite right. So I'll have to get that sorted. But the new tent works really well. I'm really happy with that. Everything else was good. I had too much gear because I thought I could get the car there, but it just meant I had to do a little bit of trekking back and forth. A couple of guys came through the site earlier this morning and they were headed to a hike they said was called Flat Rock. They said it was about 10 Ks round trip, which is about perfect for me. I didn't really feel like doing it this morning, but I will definitely come back out here one day. I think you can go in one direction to get to a trig point with a really nice view over the valley, and then you go in the other direction to get to Flat Rock, which is also apparently a really nice view. So I'd love to come out here one day, do the trig point one day, and then do Flat Rock the next day. Definitely going to do that. Might even do it next weekend. We'll see what happens. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you on the next one. Peace. Oh, I hit that one yesterday too.